Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Anne and Gables 1979. Today we're doing episode 48, almost done. Matthew's Farewells, where we will give our final farewells to Matthew. So let's start. 3, 2, 1, click. To follow up on your final thoughts from before it was, well, I guess that's just the thing. Both Lucy and Takahata are perfectly aware of how important Matthew is for the story and for the characters around him. And which is why they treat his departure with all the respect in the world. Fact, by the way, in 2010, Nippon Animation actually made a 19-minute movie, which is basically just the first 6 episodes strung together, and released it as a movie. It was a weird thing. Because it's just the first 6 episodes, so I don't really see how. I'm guessing it's like the longest trailer for a TV show ever, and it's sold to you. It's a weird thing. I don't really understand what was the thought process behind that.
Matthew's Farewell.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, they've mastered the art of being able to sing without moving their mouths.
Yes.
Well, wait, you're talking about that shot where the camera is panning over the entire image? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess, was it supposed to be it look like they were singing, but they aren't?
The idea behind that was the technique that Osamu Tezuka invented when he first created the Japanese animation, wherein as a cost-saving measure, a way to disguise to create the illusion of movement was to have a still shot, but the camera is moving. To basically to distract the audience from the fact that there's no actual animation on screen.
Now that's the thing, though. The people were moving on screen, but their lips weren't, so was like the singing supposed to be something that was like a flashback to Anne or something, or
I'm guessing maybe it's just the actual music track that has singing to it. I don't think maybe it wasn't meant to be them singing specifically.
Wonder if we recognize any of the pallbearers.
I think one of the pallbearers was his new hired hand.
As well as Twib, since Theo brought that up, and I'm not remember. I never read the book, so I don't know. So what do you think would? So I'm guessing. What do you think would be if they treated Matthew's death? God, what's its name? Just like with the Dumbledore death in the movie.
I mean, it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be bad. It's just. It is a bit. The way it was constructed felt a bit odd. I can't put my finger on why. Is it the bit where they all just raise their wands in the air?
It's the abruptness of it all. Like,
yeah.
At least in the book, there was some time that passed before the funeral, and they also had like everyone showing up, from the wizards to even the centaur shooting a cast of arrows for him. In the movie, just raise their wands up and bam, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I have to say that is really weird, considering how important of a character Dumbledore. He's Harry's mentor, for Christ's sake.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I just do not care for that movie. I mean, I was a bit iffy on the book myself, but the movie kind of just is like, okay, and that's the thing. You technically do need to see it still, so yes, I watch it, but begrudgingly.
Okay, now they're moving their mouths while they're singing.
Mm-hmm.
Be Still My Lonely Heart. Is that the song?
I don't know the song, sorry.
I cannot help you either, Gables.
Okay, is it a song they made for this one? Or
no, it might
it.
come on for the play.
Don't churches typically have their own songs that they use for specific occasions, like this one and stuff like that?
I think so. You know, this reminds me of, actually.
Go on.
There was the episode of Only Fools and Horses that proved that it is possible to have a comedic moment in a funeral in a funeral scene, because normally these scenes are played really straight, and for the most part the scene in that one really was, but the key aspect of that one wasn't that they played the funeral itself as a joke or anything, because that would have just been tasteless. Basically, one of the series' main actors died in real life, so they marked it on screen by having his character die.
No, his first name was Thomas.
And the funeral was played straight, and literally the only joke they did was that they attempted to throw the character's hat into the grave as they filled it up, but it was actually the priests.
Thank you, Josie. We totally needed to be reminded.
How lovely.
Oh my god, she even dresses in green. She really is gonna become the Green Goblin.
You're such a pleasant person, aren't you, Josie?
See, Pedro, you know that bit from Anne with an E you showed me and Jova and talk about the inappropriate conversation? This right here is inappropriate.
Or maybe she heard the Green Gables part, and I know, I'll dress in green.
Then it will be Josie of Green Gables.
Because I'm a spiteful little bitch.
He is, actually.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what are we gonna do to save the farm now?
Go! I know, Jova. Find the wanted criminal and collect his bounty.
No.
Of course, we'll have the cows do it for us.
Naturally.
Marilla does have a plan, Jova, but we'll address that.
Ah, what a beautiful something.
Afternoon, next day.
Yeah. Well, Well,
Like the narrator said, life had to continue.
life has to go on. Yeah.
Tend to the flowers. Ready the battle trident. Oh wait, I may be getting that mixed up with someone else who tends and looks after flowers. Would you care for some tea, by the way?
Some tea would be really nice, actually.
By Jove, what wizardry is that?
They are compromising.
Mm-hmm.
There is actually this also deals with yet another like maybe not maybe mini arc is not the correct way to put it, but yeah, since this is Anne's first time dealing with mortality, she herself will also have a flaw about this that she needs to also overcome.
Is it her first time dealing with mortality? I feel like she's had other people die in her life before.
Not anybody that she actually loves to the extent that she loved Matthew.
Not to a matter of also her current consciousness right now.
Yeah, because remember, Jova, before she came to Green Gables, all the people who took care of her were assholes, as she kind of led on. So yeah, Matthew and Marilla were the first people to really raise her with love. So
also in terms of her actual, birth parents, she didn't really know them enough to actually, feel much for them.
Her mother died when she was born, and her father died shortly after.
But these two have raised her.
Like Tara explained in our early episode commentaries, back then a fever was a problem.
Ooh. Oh. Josie was later found sobbing down in the deepest of despairs. Isn't that lovely, Anne?
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, as you can see from her facial expression, it's really hard for Anne to get back to her cheerful, usual self.
Well, that took a turn.
I don't know, guys. We're going somewhere with this. Anne, unfortunately, hasn't finished grieving quite yet.
I don't think even Anne knows what to make of it.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens, and
Kind of has to.
you don't even realize it, actually.
As dramatic as ever, I see.
Mm-hmm.
That can't have been. That can't have been fast. Scotland to Canada at this point in history.
Mm-hmm. He'll probably still do his job better than Rayquaza. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink.
It's actually, believe it or not, Jova, that's not the primary deciding factor. There's actually something more.
Yeah,
Don't
tell me Anne's going to choose to become a farmer in Matthew's stead.
No, I mean, she hasn't really had proper training, so probably wouldn't be that good of an idea. I mean, she had helped a few times here and there, but it's not like she knows the ins and outs of everything.
They just mirror the colors in this episode are a bit muted overall.
Yeah, it's intentional, Shiroi, to reflect the mood.
I do wonder if maybe Anne will become a teacher and that's how they'll pay the bills. Like, she'll become the teacher of the school in the area. Avenlea.
Here's what you do, Shiroi. Go back and watch any animated film, like so let's say Zootopia. You'll notice that when Nick is getting angry at Judy for her horrible bias against foxes, you'll notice that the lighting is very darker compared to the rest of the movie. It's a typical animation technique to visually convey the mood, basically.
By accident, you say, yeah.
It'll match your dress.
Yeah.
Perfect. The colors of Christmas.
And then again, sure, there's also movies like The Page Master who don't know how to do it, where suddenly, when there's danger, suddenly everything gets red, like you're watching it through red tinted glasses.
Oh, so Virtual Boy.
Yeah. Also, Pedro, you mentioned that you didn't like when Sonic 06 did that for Silver when he turned, or Shadow that turned the screen black and white.
Oh, okay. I should clarify. It's not that I hate it or anything. It's just that I find it weird. Like suddenly the screen goes black and white, and you can make an argument it's for the mood purposes. And there you go, reminiscing. But all Shadow was doing was asking Mephiles, who is he? So it was just him intrigued by it. There was no. I fail to realize the justification behind the black and white coloring on that.
Maybe asking that question turns the whole universe black and white.
It is kind of a thing I've noticed in some shows where after a character asks a deep question, the screen will go black and white to show the mystery of it.
Or the lighting will dim.
Or in case of that one of them being, gears of space, and it becomes transparent for some reason.
That doesn't sound creepy at all.
No, it sounds lovely.
Actually, shoot, how are they even going to pay for Redmond College without
Remember,
any
she
money?
Scholarship,
the scholarship.
The
scholarship. Never mind.
If she was in the same situation as Gilbert, that would be a different story.
Yeah.
Are you trying to matchmake, Marilla?
It's interesting. Yeah, John Blythe. There you go. This is something that, to its credit, and when he does explore a bit better, John Blythe was kind of Marilla's sweetheart back in the day, kind of. But
we have a small case of Generation Xerox, a bit.
There you go. See, just like turns out, Anne and Marilla have more in common than we thought. Yeah, and because of her stubbornness, she didn't have the happy life she could have had with John Blythe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should learn something from that, Anne.
Oh my god! History really does repeat itself.
Yes. So
you know what? Oh wait! Oh my god! You know what? This will be even better if it turns out that Marilla looked like Anne back in the day.
No, considering again different people and all.
But Tia, what if they pull a trouble and suggest that? Well,
no.
You were related the whole time.
Oh my god, you actually knew what I was referring to. You've seen that comic.
It's kind of obvious where that was.
It's a common thing, Joe, that all things do.
Yeah.
Also, I can this is a thing because it's a small family, small town as well. I can definitely see that Marilla may have dated Gilbert's father.
So we're keeping it close to the family tree, I see.
That being said, Shiroi, there's no way Marilla could be Gilbert's mother because she's a very devout Christian, meaning she has to. She of course would save herself for marriage. So.
Also, thank you for the cat animators. needed that.
Yeah.
Here, have a cat. Yeah. Hope you're happy.
Yeah. Apparently more bad news is on the way.
Yeah, we're gonna have more bad news, which was also foreshadowed.
Oh boy, and 2 episodes left. How exciting!
I ripped your heart out. Here's a cat. Feel better.
Don't worry, Jove. It's actually not going to be as bad as you might think. All right, that was episode 48. Too.
Yeah, it was nice as well. Honestly, yeah. I do believe it functions better combining that with the previous one as a 2-parter kind of thing, because how we're so attached to each other. It's also interesting to see how Anne, coped with the whole thing. Again, I want to say with a bigger talking about that for the final thoughts of the series. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Next.
You're right.
Pretty much the same. Honestly, it was a nice second half, and it was nice to see everybody just sort of start to calm down a bit, even though, they're still struggling with it. And it was nice to see some characters connect more. And yeah, something I wanted to add on at the end of my final thoughts for the last episode. It's so strange seeing Anne like this. Like, especially considering, when we've seen her cry and stuff before, she's usually, having a tantrum. This is something, like, it's...
This is no longer the 11-year-old who
This is very jarring.
Well, that's the thing, Shirley. And that actually is a good segue into my final thoughts. One of the things that I really appreciate about the book is how it goes out of its way to really be very detailed about the exploration of grief, specifically the way she grieves his death. Like, and of course, her entire reaction, she literally feels like she probably should not laugh because it's inappropriate. But as but as the Prime Minister's wife specifically said, no, Matthew loved your laugh, didn't he? So you should continue to laugh. That's your best way of honoring him, and it's a really great sentiment that I appreciate on part of Lucy. Anyway, go on, Dibs.
Yeah, again, it's really solid, especially dealing with the aftermath of Matthew's tragic demise. But damn, I can't imagine how things are going to get worse after this.
Like I said, fortunately, it's not going to be as bad as you're probably thinking. Close this out, Joe. I'm sorry. Go on, Dave. Sorry.
Like I thought, what, is Green Gables going to burn down?
No, Dibs, don't worry. Lucy's going to end this book on a more uplifting note. Don't worry. There's still going to be one more hurdle, but we'll get through it. Don't worry, Dibs. Go on, Dibs, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Go ahead, Joe. Close us out, please.
Okay, yeah, this was a pretty good episode. Nice to see that things are starting to get a bit brighter here and there. And I see that they seem to be setting up for Anne finally realizing that she needs to nut up and just tell Gilbert, okay, my bad, I forgive you, let's at least just be friends. Even though I've held this grudge for nearly a decade now. That is all. 2 episodes left.
See you for the next episode, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.